It's Daybreak here on the Rise News. Time for the press preview. A first look at what's on the front pages just as they arrive. Let's take a look at this day. Our sister publication's leading headline today: Obi, Atiku, two others want tribunal to void Tinubu's declaration as president-elect. Let's take some riders there. Declare me winner of presidential election. That's from the Labour Party candidate Obi telling the election tribunal. Says Tinubu, Shetima not qualified to be on ballot. Also seeks President-elect's disqualification on account of his U.S. drug-related forfeitures. Accuses INEC of suppressing votes in 18,088 polling units and refusal to prevent forms EC8A, EC8B in Rivers for inspection. More on that story on page 10. Leading photo there this morning, the Post-Monetary Policy Committee meeting media briefing, where Mefele apologized for deluge of online transactions failure. More headlines. Buhari, I'm happy Nigerians now realize their voting power, says, I told voters to take money, vote according to their conscience. Hints that he's eager to retire home to tend his over 300 animals. This is not the first time the president is ready to go. Also, U.S. envoy advises presidents remove a fuel subsidy before leaving. Tinubu, physical verbal assault during March 18 governorship state assembly elections unacceptable. He's calling for reconciliation. Meanwhile, PDP's presidential candidate Atiku says your call for reconciliation smacks of hypocrisy.
This is the Punch. It's leading with the elections as well. Protests rock Ogun, Abia, Nasarawa over poll results. At Debutu, Kano APC candidate asks INEC to declare elections inconclusive. LP, that's Labour Party groups, want Abia Enugu logjam resolved. Or shoot on your tribunals, get 34 petitions. We're hoping to get closure on the Abia and Enugu elections today, hopefully before the end of the day. I didn't interfere in polls results reflecting Nigerians' choices, according to President Buhari. Atiku will be two others asked tribunal to nullify Tinubu's victory. The US hails INEC, threatens visa ban over violence and intimidation. Economists fault Monetary Policy Committee over 18% lending rate. Okay, it's gone up from 17.5%. That report is on page 24 if you want to know more. Ogun ex-permanent secretary wife found dead in Lagos home. And federal government loses suit to recover 70 trillion naira loot. That's a ton of cash.
Let's look at The Guardian. Operating license, not a right. MFA, the central bank governor, wants banks cheers. It has some riders there. CBN tightens credit squeeze. MPR in sync with economic realities, experts argue. Impacts of SVP's U.S. bank's failure on Nigeria, other African markets in focus, U.S. summit. And CBN is taking steps to insulate local banks from risks. This is MFA assuring. Then just before the logo there, Buhari exempts digital economy sector from 5% excise duty payments, on page 3. And then suspended collation of Abia Gube result. REC, that's the Resident Electoral Commissioner, visits Abuja. LP stages protest. And then just down there we see 3 pictures of some of the winning candidates, Mwifuru, the Kano State, and Kefas Abu. Sanwo-Olu says Lagos committed to completing Red Line Rail project. Will be others challenge Tinubu's victory, filed petitions. Only 6 states, FCT, adopted group life insurance in 2022. That's for The Guardian.
The Daily Sun this morning. Tinubu condemns ethnic war over election, flays post-poll arson, physical verbal assault. His call is hypocritical, says the PDP. There's leading photos there of women protesting results of governorship election in front of INEC headquarters in Lafia, Nasarawa State yesterday. You can see that lady with the placard, "Let our votes count." Just beneath that, presidential election, declare me winner or cancel election, Obi tells Tribunal. He's asking the courts to void certificate of return issued to Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate. AAAPM also demand cancellation of polls. MFLS says cash crunch, e-payments glitches will soon be over. And just beside the nameplate of Daily Sun this morning, Guba State Assembly polls no visa for riggers, violence sponsors and others. That's coming from the U.S. Embassy.
The international papers, this is the Financial Times. Fall in life expectancy triggers delay to raising of state pension age to 68 and target date of 2037 dips. This is in the UK. Meanwhile, in France, protests are still ongoing. They're refusing to buck. President Emmanuel Macron wants to raise the retirement age to 64 from 62. But the workers are saying nope. Burns ban on Credit Suisse bonuses drags bank morale to new debts. And so there's a picture of China's President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin of Russia. Xi Jinping has left Moscow now after that 3-day visit in the country. Both leaders signed agreements to strengthen the China-Russia partnership. Putin is also welcoming the China peace proposal to see the conflict in Ukraine come to a halt. But he's saying until the West and Kiev come around, the US is saying the peace proposal must include withdrawal of Russian troops first of all before we talk.
Putin is not finding it easy. All right, the Independent newspaper. Boris says bombshell pyramid of people. Ex-PM admits he misled Commons on Partygate, but not intentionally, and nobody told him drinking wine at number 10 events broke rules. A plausible defense, but some MPs are saying that Boris's defense is weak and that he lied. This is concerning the Partygate scandal. Well, at the top there, you see, it just turns into a habit. Sheeran opens up about his drink and drug use.
A similar headline in the I newspaper, D-Day for Johnson, ex-PM drags Sunak into inquiry as he fights to save his political career. Boris Johnson will be questioned for 4 hours today in televised evidence to inquiry. Now let's come back to Nigeria. Biggest story of the day since yesterday, today, on all the national dailies. Obi, Atiku and 2 other parties want, and their presidential candidates want, Tribunal to void Tinubu's declaration as president-elect. When you look at the Labour Party's petition, there's just a lot and lots of claim. They're claiming that the vice presidential candidate of the APC, Kashim Shettima, was not qualified to participate in that election because as at July 14th of last year, when he was nominated as the vice presidential candidate for the party, he was still the senatorial candidate for Borno Central constituency. They're also alleging that Abuja is not part of a state in Nigeria, and the presidential candidate of the APC did not poll up to 2/3 in Abuja, and that's in contravention of the Constitution. There are also other claims. Now, some of the prayers that the Labour Party and its candidates, they want to be declared. Peter Obi says the tribunal should declare him winner of that election. An alternative prayer is to cancel the election and order for fresh elections.
I thought he came third in the elections.
Well, according...
Is it possible for him to be declared if
Well,
he lost the court? Won't that be the second position, which should be the
first thing?
If you've read the petition, you'd see that he's claiming the party and its candidates, Labour Party and the candidates, are claiming that they actually won that election, and they've said they have the evidence to back that up.
Okay, he would need more states for that to happen.
The first thing is that you've got to get 25 states to third of it. And as far as things stand, he's nowhere near that. I mean, that's the beginning of his wanting to claim. But I think he added for good measure, in case that fails, that they should do a rerun of the polls, which is going to be quite... well, we'll listen, he's done what he should do. If you're against what has happened, you go to courts, and then the courts will decide. The lawyers will tell us whether what he's saying holds through or not. So we'll probably wait for the courts this time and see what they say.
Yeah, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku has also filed his own petition. He's insisting that the President-elect Tinubu is not qualified to contest. The petitions challenging the declaration of Bola Tinubu are the ruling All Progressives Congress, as we know that poll. The petition has been lodged at the court, the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal. He maintains that he won as well, and he needs to be declared a winner. The second respondent in his suit was not duly elected by a majority of lawful votes. That's another allegation from Atiku Abubakar. He's praying the court to declare him winner of the presidential election, having secured the second highest number of lawful votes cast at the election.
You know, what you would wonder is, on the score of they're not qualified, you'll begin to wonder, why wasn't this done before the election? You know, when they could have been totally knocked off and they won't contest. Why are they doing it now? They have their reasons, but one is just wondering why that wasn't done before the election.
The petition?
Yeah, on why they're not qualified.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
That
why
part.
they're not qualified. You know, you would think that it would have been done before the election, so they'd be knocked off, Tinubu would be knocked off. But after the election, you know.
Yeah, that's the mystery. That's the mystery in the lawsuit.
We have a Madi.
No.
No, we don't have for now. That's the mystery in this. That's why I'm not a lawyer, and that's why the lawyers will get paid to figure this out. And of course, just like you said earlier, we're looking forward to seeing how this pans out. It will be a drawn-out case. They filed the petitions, and we're looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. It might go in anyone's favor. Let's wait to see.
The lawyers will tell us basically what will happen. Let's look at some of the other papers. Let's probably look at a protest rocking Ogun, Abia, Nasarawa over poll results. Dabo, what in Ogun? Abia, the results have not been announced. There's hue and cry about Obingwa, where the incumbent governor, Okeze Bazu, hails from, and the label they're claiming that they won there. Then you have Nasarawa. That is where Abdullahi Sule, again, of the APC, also won. So, I mean, their protests are rocking there. We just hope and pray that the protests do not delve into violence.
As long as it's peaceful, anyone can protest. But especially, I hope we could get over Abia and Enugu today, because INEC itself says their staff were kidnapped in Obingwa. So they need to expedite, and let's close that chapter, because we've seen the numbers on the IREV, we've seen the numbers from all the parties, so we're expecting the result should be obvious to everyone. Now we just need an official declaration. Same goes for Enugu State. We need to know. In River State, the opposition parties are saying a lot of shady business gone down and we don't accept it. Well, the court's open, and if you have a case, you believe you do have a case, I'm wary of saying that phrase, because I fear that it's being bastardized. go to court. But it's what we can do for now. We can't turn to violence. We can't turn to something else. The court is there for you to approach them, and if you believe you have a case, file your petition and keep your fingers crossed and let the lawyers do what they know how to do best.
The thing is that when this cry, oh, we don't want to say go to court, unless something is done about the law, that is just what politicians are going to do. Unless the law says, okay, don't go to court, which the law cannot say. Unless the National Assembly, enacts a law that will make that impossible, you can't do anything about it. People have to go to court. And so it is what it is. There's no other way around. Unless you tell politicians, look, when you lose election, just be a good loser and wait for the next 4 years. But you know that politicians won't do that. Politicians will always cry foul because some people believe that they will win. And so when they don't win, they'll feel that they were cheated, and so they want to go to court because they believe that the courts, they have something that they could tell the courts that will tilt it to their favor. So unless the law says otherwise, people will go to court.
Okay. All right. That's the end of the press preview. Let's hear your view on all the burning issues. Follow us on Twitter at Arise TV.